Once, friend, I had been running for several blocks, escaping from the creatures. Although they had fallen significantly behind, I didn't slow down. Running didn't tire me. In fact, it used to bring me joy. Once, when Kate's husband slept her, we started running together in the mornings. Whether Kate did it to distract herself from gloomy thoughts or she was genuinely dissatisfied with her figure, I didn't care. Friends aren't loved for their physique. We simply run together in the mornings. Kate tried to maintain the same pace throughout our jog, and I just adjusted to her rhythm. I never tried to show her I was faster. I simply enjoyed running beside her, hearing the breathing, and relishing the morning quietness not yet felt with the hum of cars, artificially cheerful radio voices, and the sounds of nearby construction. The creatures lost sight of me. I turned into a few more alleys to shake them off completely, and then returned to where I had to stop my search because they had spotted me. I was on the right path and close to my goal, since the creatures had taken Kate, locking me in a room of the empty house where we had carelessly decided to spend the night. I hadn't spared any effort. I followed the trail, stopping only to drink water from stagnant puddles. Now, I wasn't as fresh as at the beginning of my journey, but rage kept pumping adrenaline into my blood, spurring my body and pushing fatigue aside. I needed to find Kate, to help her. That was very close. The trail was clear, fresh. The scent was the same as that other creature who had locked me in and then decided that the meat shouldn't go to waste. When I opened the door and confronted the predator with a nail-style stick, he didn't expect me to attack him, knock him down, and pin him down with my weight. Reaching for his neck, he tried to hold me back with one hand and hit me with a stick in the other, but I ignored the nails tearing my flesh and kept reaching for his throat. And I got there. The pain made the creature release his grip, and I let him to choke on his blood as I followed the trail. Creatures clustering together always had the same smell. This pack was no exception. Everything began when the cities lost power. Food in refrigerators spoiled and stores closed. After 4 days without electricity, crowds started looting supermarkets, beating and sometimes killing the guards and security who dare resist. Gasoline for cars also ran out. Now new supplies were brought to the stores. People started walking to neighboring districts to scavenge whatever they could find there, but the situation was the same everywhere. Clashes ensued, often deadly. People stopped caring about their appearance. Clothes started to smell worse. People became indifferent to themselves and then turned savage. Initially, it resembled tribes, but as the situation worsened, the tribe turned into a pack. Kate and I found shelter in one of these tribes. Things were tolerable for a while, but one day, when someone hinted that I could be turned into a huge pot of tasty, fat-rich soup, Kate woke me up at night and we left. Since then, we lived on the move, trying to avoid people who became less and less like themselves. About a year passed, not exactly, but the leaves were falling again, and the rains followed one after another. We waited out the rains in one of the remaining houses on the outskirts, planned another transition. Strangely, Kate never lost faith that she wasn't the only human left, and we stubbornly continued searching, moving from one settlement to another. I liked it when we briefly stayed in some village during the summer. Empty, unlike the cities, which were necessarily inhabited by creatures that had lost human semblance and banded into packs. There was nobody there. There was a forest nearby with a lot of wildlife. I even brought Kate a badger that I managed to catch. It wasn't difficult. The kids cuddled me for some reason and threw the carcass where they used to be golden and they no longer tried to haunt. But there it was still incomparably better than in the cities. In the cities, there were packs that fought each other, and each pack had its own smell. This one was no exception. I'm almost there. The smell is unbearable. Well, yes, look, two creatures are fastening a hodge, brick built. Fireplace and next to it, tied to an iron post, it's Kate. The rest of the creatures weren't nearby. I couldn't smell them. Perhaps they continued hunting, or maybe they were fighting over territory with others. Before, children used to play near such posts, throwing a ball so it would hit a hoop. It was interesting to watch the kids, and it was great when a ball, thrown awkwardly or not caught by one of the children, rolled away. Then I could chase it and play with it until the kids took the ball back and started their fuss around the hoop again. Scaring away the two females fastening the fire, I rushed to Kate, who was astonished by my appearance. It took me a long time to chew through the rope. During the time, I had to growl several times at those same females, who, forgetting their affair, began to approach us. One of them had a knife in her hand. A knife. I abandoned the rope and launched at them. The first one ran away with a wild scream, and the other, with a knife, rolled no worse than me. In her other hand, she held a rag. I jumped, not making any finds, aiming for the wrist of the hand, holding the weapon. The rag hit my eyes, disorienting me for a moment, and my teeth shaped at nothing. The next moment, I felt a burning flower of pain unfold on my side, under my ribs. But I knocked the creature down and bit into her arm just above the elbow, and jerked my head, not releasing my teeth. She dropped her weapon and, screaming, turned her head slightly to the side, as if turning her muzzle away from mine, and I did not need her muzzle. The throat was enough. When I left the body, the head stopped resisting alone and started looking for the knife. My vision was blurry, and the blur spread into viscous black patterns, dancing and mesmerizing the struggling dawns. It took me 4 or 5 attempts to grab the weapon with my teeth. I took a few steps towards Kate, but my legs gave out. I fell, closed my eyes for a moment, clenching my jaws, just so the knife wouldn't fall out, and crawled. I was afraid to turn my head and look back, but it seemed my own entrails were dredging behind me on the dusty asphalt. Just don't unclench your teeth. Pain twisted my insides. Probably now it was more appropriate to call them outside. Pain whispered to me, "Lie down, unclench your jaws. I'll leave you alone. Not completely, not for long, but I'll leave you alone. Come on, unclench." As always, Pain lied. I knew it was lying, and continued to growl, clenching the knife handle between my teeth. I crawled up, and only then unclenched my jaws. Kate reached for the weapon, and freed her hands from the ropes. First she sat up, then lay down next to me, pressing her head to mine. Her face was wet. People call it tears. Strange. She didn't cry when her ex-husband came home reeking of another woman's scent. She didn't cry when he left her for that other woman. And she was in pain, I know. Then why is she crying now? "Jack," she whispered, swallowing her tears. "You didn't leave me, Jack." Silly, I wanted to tell her, don't you know that you can't abandon friends? Abandoning a friend can kill you from longing. But I couldn't say it. Instead, I licked her face. I'm a dog, and I don't know how to talk.
Welcome to my channel.